Hello CA Inter students. I hope you wrote today's paper well. Comfortable paper only. So I am here with you to do analysis of today's direct taxation question paper. One thing, like those who are writing group 1, they can watch this video completely. But if you are also writing group 2, don't watch this video. Because direct tax exam is already over. You need not think about this. But if you have writing only group 1, then watch this video to know the answers for MCQs. First, Pier Parking Plaza Limited has leased out one of its parking space to Merces Greater Park & Co., a partnership firm, for 50,000 per month on 1st May 24. See, you have to be careful. From 1st May 24 onwards, that means only for 10 months. And received 6 months lease rent in advance on the same date and rest on monthly basis from November 24 to March 25. It has also given another larger parking space to DP Park Limited public sector company. See, if parking lot is given on lease to public sector company, no TCS is required to be collected under section 206C 1C. Here 50,000 into 10 months 5 lakh. Sorry, 1st May 24 means 11 months, right? One second, this is not working. $50,000 into 11 months, that means 5,50,000 into 2% TCS, that means 11,000 TCS is required to be collected and no TCS is required to be collected from DP Park Limited. Answer is C. Next, amount of 50 lakhs is given by Merces Stopper Limited to a trust for construction of hostel under corporate social responsibility as a mandatory spending under section 135 of Companies Act. See, if any amount is spent for CSR expenditure, that amount is not eligible for deduction under PGBP. So, it is disallowed while computing business income. Next, case scenario. Merces Anisha, an Indian citizen aged 50 years, left India on 29th September. That means exactly she left on 182nd day. That means she stayed in India for 182 days. As she stayed in India for 182 days, she satisfies basic condition 1. And she is Indian citizen leaving India for the first time. So she satisfies basic condition 1 and she also satisfies additional condition 1 and 2. So she becomes ROR in India. Her residential status will be ROR. Next. She owns a self-occupied property in New York. See, an individual can own 2 house properties as self-occupied. So, house property in New York, we can treat it as self-occupied. She got pension income 11,50,000. In India, she owns 2 residential properties, House X and House Y. House X is self-occupied property, House Y is let-out property. See, an individual can have 2 houses as self-occupied. So, US house is self-occupied and House X is also self-occupied. So, House Y again it is let-out property, no problem. 2 houses are self-occupied, US house and House X. Next. House Y is situated near a famous temple and was rented out to Mr. Amit for entire financial year 24-25 at a monthly rent of 60,000. However, due to upcoming annual temple festival attracting millions of devotees, tenant found it difficult to reside in this area and wanted to shift to any other place. He refused to pay rent for 2 months, though the tenancy is bona fide. Unrealized rent. To maintain goodwill, Anisha offered him another semi-constructed residential house property which Mr. Amit accepted and shifted to that house. See, once he do not pay rent for 2 months, he should not occupy another house property of the same SSC. Correct? So, but what Anisha did, Anisha, to maintain the goodwill, she offered him another semi-constructed residential property which Mr. Amit accepted and shifted to that house. See, once he do not pay the rent for 2 months, then owner should not cooperate to the tenant, correct? But here owner cooperated to the tenant. So generally unrealized rent will be allowed as deduction, but in this case unrealized rent will not be allowed as deduction. Mrs. Anisha also entered into an agreement with Mr. Nagesh, a renowned parking contractor, to lease out her garage. See, whenever garage is leased out, TCS is required to be collected under section 206C1C. 4 months, 55,000. So 55,000 into 4, 2,20,000. TCS 2%. Next, House X and House Y was acquired in 23-24 with a bank loan of 25 lakhs and 30 lakhs respectively. Mrs. Anisha paid interest of 2.5 lakhs, but interest of 3 lakhs was accrued. See, under section 24B, you can claim even accrued interest also. You need not pay, even accrued interest is also allowed as deduction. See, TDS, in case of leasing of parking space, TCS is required to be collected. Whenever TCS is required to be collected, TDS provisions are not applicable. Here question asked is, how much is TDS deductible? TDS is not required to be deducted. As TCS is required to be collected at the rate of 2%, TDS is not required to be deducted. Answer is D. Next. How much would be the total income? So yes, let us calculate. 60,000 into 12, 7,20,000. That is gross annual value. From this, deductions under section deductions under section 24. First, 24A, standard deduction will be allowed at the rate of 30%, correct? 7,20,000 into 30%, 2,16,000. 24B, interest on borrowed capital, 3 lakhs. 2,04,000. That will be treated as income from house property. Okay. So 2,04,000 income from house property, 11,50,000, 2,20,000. This is the answer. Next. This one also. Mr. Prakash, resident Indian, aged 61 years, purchased a shop for 15 lakhs in November 2004. When it was purchased, 2004, registration and other expenses were 12% of the cost. He entered into an agreement for sale of shop to Mrs. Money. So how much is basically cost? 15 lakhs plus 12%. 1,80,000. Next, he entered into agreement for sale of shop in January 2014. January 2014 means before 1st April 2014. Before 1st April 2014, if any advance is forfeited, advance forfeited will be reduced from cost of acquisition of the asset. How much is advance forfeited? Advance received 5 lakhs as advance and it could not materialize and it was forfeited. When advance was forfeited in February 2014. That means advance forfeited before 1st April 2014. Correct? Next. Mr. Prakash entered into another agreement in January 24. January 24 means after 1st April 2014. Correct? For sale of this shop to Mr. Madan at 25 lakhs and received advance of 8 lakhs. But on 15th April 24, Madan denied to complete the agreement due to non-availability of sufficient funds, and Mr. Prakash forfeited and retained the advance as per agreement. Finally, Mr. Prakash sold this shop to Mr. Mohan for 45 lakhs. So shall we calculate capital gains? Full value of consideration is 45 lakhs, correct? Next, see, 8 lakhs advance forfeited, and that advance is forfeited after 1st April 2014. So this is taxable under income from other sources in 24-25, correct? Good. So how much is cost of acquisition? When it was sold on 23rd June 2024. 23rd June 2024. That means before 23rd July 24. So before 23rd July 24, you can claim indexation benefit, right? You can claim indexed cost of acquisition as deduction. So how much is cost of acquisition? Cost of acquisition is 16,80,000. You can claim indexed cost of acquisition as deduction. 16,80,000. How much is advance forfeited? 5 lakhs into cost inflation index of 24-25, 363 divided by cost inflation index of 2004-5, 113. How much? 16,80,000 minus 5 lakhs, 11,80,000 into 363 divided by 113, 37,90,619. So how much is long-term capital gain? 7,09,381. So 7,09,381 is long-term capital gain. Advance forfeited in January 24, that is taxable under other sources 8 lakhs. Interest on FD 26,700. Gross total income 15,36,081. We need to reduce chapter 6A deductions. See, 5 lakhs is invested in post office fixed deposit for 5 years. That is eligible for deduction under section 80C 1,50,000. And he is resident individual aged 61 years. So obviously he is eligible for deduction under 80 TTB. So 26,700 is eligible for deduction under 80 TTB. Total income is 13,59,380. So out of 13,59,380, long-term capital gain 7,09,381. This is before 23rd July 24, right? So before 23rd July 24, if it is long-term capital gain under section 112, tax rate applicable is 20%. So tax amount is 1,41,876, balance 6,50,000. Out of that 3 lakhs is basic exemption limit, 3 lakh to 5 lakh 10,000, 5 lakh to 6.5 lakh 30,000, 40,000. Total 1,81,876 plus 4% HEC. Final tax liability is 1,89,150. Answer is D. And long-term capital gain 7,09,381. Income from other sources, how much? 8,26,700. So these are the answers for MCQs. Rest all cool. I told you first question will come from total income. First question is relating to total income and tax liability calculation. Again, yesterday only, day before exam strategy video, I said residential status. Yes, question 2A came from residential status. 2B, I said it will come from TDS TCS chapter. Exactly from TDS TCS chapter only question 2B came. Next, question 3A. Again, it is relating to salary. Yesterday I said salary, capital gains, other sources, house property. From these 4 chapters question will come. Question 3A and 3B. Question 3A, like 3A came from salary as expected. Question 3B, it came from income from other sources expected. And I said question 4A, it will come from set off of losses chapter. Exactly from set off of losses chapter only question 4A came. Next question 4b, it came from return of income chapter. You can see defective return. So every question as expected only came from selected chapters, only questions have come. I hope you have written answers well. So if you have done some 2-3 mistakes, don't think about it. What it is already over. Now let us focus on further exams. Okay, thank you. Bye.